which should you buy? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. Sitting in the old school spot again today, which means the light is gonna go really bright and really dark throughout the entirety of this video. See what I mean? I'll be honest, today I didn't really know what to do for a video. I wasn't sure if I should do another first run impressions because I have a couple of those coming down, or a full review, some shoes are due for that, or just a different kind of video. And while I've done this sort of thing before, I think you guys really enjoy it. So today we're gonna do another which should you buy video. Today we're gonna be comparing two shoes from the same brand that have pretty much almost the same exact name, but they are slightly different shoes. And those two shoes are the Asics Gel Nimbus 24 and the Asics Gel Nimbus Lite 3. We've been seeing Asics do this with their flagship shoes recently, where they'll have like the Nimbus and then they'll have the Kayana, which are two very popular shoes from Asics. But then they kind of, I don't want to say water them down, but change them up a bit and perhaps make them a little bit more friendly to people who want to try something different. Maybe some newer runners out there who are just getting in, some younger runners. But they don't change the flagship model so that the traditional folks out there still have the shoe that they always wanted. So today we're gonna walk through the upper, the midsole, the outsole, the differences between the two shoes, and maybe that can help you decide which one of these Nimbuses is right for you. And at the end, I'll tell you which I would personally go for. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that both of these shoes were sent to me by Running Warehouse and Asics. However, neither company is going to see this before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always going to be my own. We'll go through the specs now. I'm not going to get too technical like I do in first run impressions videos. I'll link those here so you can check them out if you want to see something a little bit more specific. But we'll just see which one of these shoes is lighter. So I have my handy dandy scale here. We'll go with the Nimbus 24 first. All right, this shoe is coming out to 10.2 ounces for my size, 10.5, 10.1, 10.2, it's fluctuating. All right, so that's that one. And then for the Nimbus Lite 3, we are coming out to 9.2, 9.25 to be exact. So this Nimbus Lite is actually lighter in weight. These shoes do have the same drop. For women, it's gonna be 13 millimeters, and for men, it's gonna be 10 millimeters. I have no idea why Asics changed the drop of the shoe by 3 millimeters for women. But okay, that's what it is. And while these shoes fit a little bit differently, I would say that they are both true to size. All right, so now let's chat about the uppers of these two shoes. So for the Nimbus 24, you're gonna get just a standard jacquard engineered mesh. It feels pretty much like every other engineered mesh on the market. Nothing too crazy to report. We do have some, I don't know if these are melted on or stitched on, whatever, overlays here in the midfoot. And you have a pretty sturdy heel counter as well. The upper is fairly breathable. I'd say it's about average in that department, but it is very comfortable and you're gonna get a nice lockdown fit. It has that like knit tongue here, so while the rest of the shoe is the engineered mesh, you're gonna get this stretchy knit tongue, and I actually really dig this because it gives you a really good wraparound fit across that midfoot. And it's just super comfortable. So I really like what they did with this tongue. And they have the same tongue in the Nimbus Lite 3. So you're also gonna get a really good wraparound fit here with this material in the upper, which is slightly different than the Nimbus 24. Here in the Nimbus Lite 3, they're using a technical mesh, is what they're calling it. And it's actually 60% recycled polyester. So this shoe is a little bit more green friendly than the Nimbus 24 is. I would say that the Nimbus Lite 3 is slightly more breathable than the 24, but I wouldn't say that either of them are really crazy breathable. The overlays in the Nimbus Lite 3 are 3D printed on overlays, so they feel pretty minimal, but they do get the job done. And like I said about the 24, this knit tongue really does help to get a nice wraparound feel here. Now, the biggest difference that I noticed about these two shoes is the fit. I would say that while these are both true to size, like I said, the Nimbus 24 is slightly more snug for me. It feels maybe like a little bit more shallow in the forefoot area, holds onto my foot or clings onto it a little bit more. It also might be slightly more narrow. And I think because of the fit of the shoe, I'm getting a little bit of a hot spot on the ball of my foot. I mentioned that in the first run impressions video. I still do get that. It never amounts to a full-on blister, but it's just not something that I really love. Doesn't mean you'll feel it, but I did have to point it out that I am getting that in the Nimbus 24. In the Nimbus Lite, I feel like this shoe feels a lot more roomier in the forefoot, volume-wise and kind of width-wise. I feel like I have a little bit more room for my foot to breathe. And I also think if I turn the shoe over, it's just, in my opinion, feels a little bit less narrow than the 24 does. So I have not experienced any hot spots in the Nimbus Lite 3. So because of that, for upper, I'd probably pick the Nimbus Lite 3. I am the only person I know who has experienced a hot spot in the 24, so just do with that information what you will. It doesn't mean that it'll happen to you. Now, the midsole area is where these shoes really do kind of separate. We are using two completely different foams here. In the Nimbus 24, we have Flight Foam Blast Plus, which is one of Asics' newer foams, supposed to be a softer slash bouncier, more lively ride than the standard Flight Foam was. And I believe more cushion than standard Flight Foam Blast. Here in the Nimbus Lite 3, we have just regular Flight Foam, but it's like their eco-friendly version of Flight Foam. It's made of cellulose nanofiber. Again, just a greener take on Flight Foam, and they have tons of it here. And both of these shoes have gel in the heel, I believe, and in the forefoot. You just can't see it. Oh, it looks like maybe just gel in the Nimbus 24's heel, not forefoot, but whatever. There's gel is the point, okay? How do I describe how these two shoes feel on foot? Well, I would say that the Nimbus 24 feels a little bit more balanced throughout the shoe. It doesn't feel like the heel has more than the forefoot or the forefoot has more than the heel. It kind of feels the same across the board, which is a good feeling and kind of lends to a more stable feeling ride and just a more dialed in ride, I think. Now, the Nimbus Lite 3 to me feels like it has more cushioning in some areas, and it's kind of visible too. Like, it has a lot of cushioning back here in the heel, and then in the forefoot, it does kind of thin out a bit. And I will say, like I said in my first run impressions video, that I kind of do feel like this feels a little bit thin and leaves a little bit to be desired in the forefoot in certain aspects. Definitely on longer runs, I do start to feel that forefoot in the ground a little too much, and I wish that I didn't. A way to describe it for me is that the Nimbus 24 feels soft, but it feels definitely more responsive, a little bit tighter of a foam. Gonna give you a little bit more life rather than just that like sinking cushion feeling. And the Nimbus Lite 3 is gonna give you more of that sinking cushion feeling in some areas and a little less of that bounce and response that you're just gonna get from Flight Foam Blast Plus. Still, I would say that neither of these shoes feel particularly like max cushioned. I know that the Nimbus line is supposed to be one of Asics' more cushioned shoes. I would say for me personally, these feel like comfortable daily trainers. Unfortunately though, because I'm not really sure where that hotspot is coming from, whether it's the upper or the midsole, I would probably go with the Nimbus Lite 3 still here. I just haven't had that issue with this shoe, so it does taint this a bit for me. But they're still both really great. All right, so turning these over to the outsoles, we got Asics Light Rubber in both of these shoes, but in just different patterns. I'd say the traction is pretty much the same on each of these shoes, but I think that I might tend to gravitate more towards the Nimbus 24's outsole. I don't know, it just felt like it gripped on a little bit more. And for some reason in the Nimbus Lite 3, I feel those like waves, the rubber waves, a little bit under my foot at times, which is just an interesting sensation, not a deal breaker, just strange. I don't really feel that in the 24, so I am gonna go, I guess, with the 24 in terms of outsole. But it's really splitting hairs. Like, they're pretty much the same. Asics makes a good outsole, so can't really go wrong. Okay, and finally, price. The strangest part to me about these two shoes is that they are the exact same price of $159.95 on runningwarehouse.com. I can't understand for the life of me why these two shoes cost the same amount of money, because you're getting more of like a premium build here than you are in this shoe, and this just seems like maybe a slightly more stripped down version of this shoe. So that would lead me to believe that this should be less money, but it is not. They are the same exact price, which might make your decision more difficult. For me, just in terms of what agrees better with my foot, I would go with the Nimbus Lite 3. Just because I feel like I have more room, I'm not getting a hot spot, and I tend to like a little bit of a softer feel underfoot, which I'm definitely getting from the midfoot back. I still love the shoe, definitely enjoy running in it. It's just the hot spot issue is a big red flag for me, and I mean, that's kind of it. The upper is just a little bit too snug, but I hope that this video kind of gave you an idea of which of these $160 shoes might be right for you if you do have these two on your radar. Both of them are super reliable daily trainers. Both of them are gonna go the distance. They're just gonna do it a little bit differently. If you're interested in picking up either the Nimbus 24 or the Nimbus Lite 3, I'll put links in the description of this video. You can click those and pick up your own pair. Just keep in mind that they are affiliate links with Running Warehouse. It doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can sit in front of this camera and talk about shoes, which is my favorite thing to do. So I'm still gonna be running in these shoes. I'm definitely taking this to 50 miles. Honestly, I think it's probably at that by now. I'm gonna get a couple more runs in it before we do a full review. And this shoe is well on its way as well. So you will see full reviews of these shoes. I like them both a lot. This was a difficult kind of decision to make, but it just came down to really the hot spot. Well, everyone, that concludes this video of which should you buy, the Asics Nimbus 24 or the Asics Nimbus Lite 3. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit that notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. As usual, I would love to see this white colorway on the 24. I think that would be a beautiful looking shoe. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. Come here. Yay! Say hi. Hi to your friends. Say hi to your friends. Yes, thank you.